What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow. I'm also going to talk about what you should be looking out for Tesla and what on earth may end up happening based off what's happening to the overall market and also the Fed, as we do have quite an important day in the next 2 days, as we do have another FOMC minutes that are going to be released on Wednesday, and also Tuesday we have a speech from Jerome Powell himself. I'm also going to talk about what the news is saying about Tesla and what Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend, put on his Twitter page that's very important for his ventures and also for what's going on. Now, before I break down what Elon Musk has been saying, before I talk about where Tesla's share price may end up going for tomorrow, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla shares for free, as this is a limited time offer that ends in just 2 weeks. So please check it out before they run out of free stocks to give. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, this thing is currently up about 1.66%. And we did have a very interesting day because in my previous video, I talked about this bounce I saw coming out for the SPY. You guys can see how this played out. We got that nice bounce, a nice bounce off that 380. We started to continue this run up, and it doesn't look like the SPY has necessarily found the top just yet. I do think there's a little bit more room left before we get a big rejection and we start to drop. However, it's not 100% guaranteed given what's happening for tomorrow, because if you look at the latest schedule of the Federal Reserve, remember this time at around 12:20 p.m. That's a very specific time. Jerome Powell is going to be giving a speech, but it's a pre-recorded video, so I don't think he's going to say anything that's too crazy. But remember, when Jerome Powell speaks, the market moves and big things can be announced. We also have the big meeting. There's going to be another speech from Lil Brainerd. So she's going to be talking about what's going on with the Fed, what new changes they may end up making. This could be even bigger for Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that at 12:15 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. But as of right now, the speech from Jerome Powell is coming. There is going to be some price action that's going to affect it at 12:20 p.m. for Tuesday. So I'm going to talk about that and also looking at what's happening right now, okay? If we look at the SPY, okay, we're kind of respecting this downward trend. And I actually drew out this channel. I kind of adjusted the lines a little bit to make this more relevant. And we're still respecting it quite well. And what you're seeing is we formed this gap right here on the SPY. The gap is down to around at 389. So that's a bearish indicator. But I don't necessarily think we're going to fill it tomorrow that quickly. I think we do have a little bit more room to run up just a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if the SPY pushes up to maybe almost 400, maybe 402, somewhere within that range. That's a very key zone. And I would expect this thing to get a bit of a rejection from there. And I do think that once the SPY gets rejected, it's going to start dropping. The whole market is essentially going to follow it. If you look at the Nasdaq, very, very similar story. Look at how the Nasdaq ended up moving. It got a bit of a push up. It does look like it has a little bit more room to push a little bit higher, maybe go as high as that 11,600 level to 11,750. Once we get to that range, it's a very key zone we'd be at, and we might get a rejection off that as well. So the whole market may kind of be affected based off that. Now, another thing that's not good about the SPY that I noticed is the fact that the SPY is not showing lots of volume. The same can be said about Tesla and excuse me, and a bunch of stocks in the market, right? A lot of volume isn't there. So that's a bearish indicator too, that in the future there will be a little bit more downside, which is why I do believe there's a little bit more room for Tesla to kind of jump, push up a little bit more before this thing gets rejected and starts dropping even lower. Now, what exactly do I think is going to happen? Well, first off, we got to talk about support and resistance levels. I know there's so many lines and it kind of like makes your eyes hurt, but it's important I go over this. Let me bring up the 1 minute. I think the 1 minute could look a little bit better. I'm not sure about that, but no, the reason I bring this up is because this could be very helpful for when you're trying to make a move in the market, or if you're actually watching these charts. When Tesla ran today, watch this. Tesla went up today like this. It got rejected at $679. I know the price isn't clear. 679.96. That's almost 680 where I drew out that resistance level. If you were watching my previous videos and you saw that resistance, you would know 680 was kind of holding us back. So if we drop down in the future, okay, remember this. We have support at 653. If that doesn't hold us, we have 631. If that doesn't hold us, and by 631, I mean like 631 to 633, there's a range there. If that doesn't hold, I'd expect 615 to 600 to actually be met, and it could happen this week. Not guaranteeing it just yet, but it's a possibility. If we start pushing up, if we start pushing to the upside, we have some resistance at 680. We got rejected off there a couple of hours ago. However, 700 is going to be key resistance. So is 719, 732, and 745. So be on the lookout for these ranges. Right now, Tesla's not in the best of states, nor is the entire market. So it is important to look at these. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Well, if you look at the SPY, okay, I mentioned this previously. It does look like the SPY is kind of running a little bit on low volume, and that's because of the fact that some shorts may be kind of covering some of their short positions. That's just somewhat of a catalyst that played a bit of a role. So I'd expect the SPY to push up just a couple of dollars, maybe to about 400, 402, get a bit of a rejection right there, and then start filling these gaps down here. So as for Tesla, I expect some similar price action. Tesla may have a little bit more room to run just slightly. So what I would anticipate is this. I think that for tomorrow, what could end up happening is it's going to be kind of a weird day because with Jerome Powell kind of talking, right? He has this pre-recorded message for us. The market can move really hard because of that. So sometimes it can be kind of confusing. Once again, he's speaking around noon in Eastern time for tomorrow. What could happen to Tesla is we get a nice push into opening, maybe a slight drop, and then we slowly push up like this. We might actually go as high as 700 and then get a rejection off that. And it is still possible for us to actually try to hold 680, maybe around there. And we actually managed to see a little bit of a green day. It still is possible, but I must warn you, okay? I can't promise that because it depends on what Jerome Powell says. If he announces something really, really bad, it's possible the market just tanks and Tesla starts dropping to that 653 level, maybe lower. But if he says something that isn't that bad, which I think is going to be the most likely possibility, I think we're most likely going to be kind of sideways and maybe not move too much to the upside. So Tesla could close around that 690 range, maybe somewhere around there. But that doesn't mean I'm just straight up super bullish for the remainder of the day. This is the channel I think we could see lots of price action in. That is between 680 and 700. And after that, as mentioned before, I do see more downside coming in the later days of the week, such as I would say maybe towards the end of Wednesday it's possible, but more towards Thursday and Friday, right? It also depends on what Brainerd ends up stating from the Fed on Wednesday, but overall, I do see downside being a little bit more probable based off the price action. Excuse me, based off the price action from the SPY, the Nasdaq, and also Tesla. So, anyways, that is essentially what I'm predicting. I think that things are not looking too bad for Tesla. I wouldn't say they're looking horrible just yet. I wouldn't say it's the end of the world because remember, downside is opportunity to buy these dips, to buy, you know, covered. You could sell covered calls. I'm sorry. You could sell covered calls. You could buy puts if you want. It's up to you. This is just another opportunity. Now, looking at other pieces of news that are coming out, obviously people are talking about how there's so many FUD articles out there. I wouldn't even call them FUD articles because this is definitely possible. I hate to kind of warn you about this, but it is true. Tesla has fallen below 700 and 540, 580. My key target would be that 615 range, but it could go lower than that. If it goes lower than that, I would expect maybe like 580. But they're saying 540, so that's a possibility too. Just want to put it out there. Lots of articles are going to spread lots of FUD, especially as more and more news comes out about the potential recession we may be in. It's just natural for the markets, a natural business cycle. Another big piece of news that came out was a Tesla driver said he kicked out of a window to escape an electric fire in his Model Y. And yes, issues like this do exist with Teslas. They're not perfect cars. However, they do exist in every car out there. There will be malfunctions. There will be fires. Things like this happen, but they aren't very common whatsoever. It's very rare to see things like this. The person was in Vancouver and they basically talked about the fact that they kind of got stuck in their car, so they had to kind of kick through the window to get out. Obviously, this is not good news for Tesla, but it's not necessarily the end of the world because I know the team is going to be on this as this is making lots of headlines. And I really hope that the company grows from this. They keep pushing forward because they never ever quit. Now, a big thing about Elon Musk, he didn't necessarily tweet too many things involving Tesla, but he did mention that there's a Netflix documentary about returning astronauts to orbit after space shuttle program ended. So this is pretty cool. It's a very cool thing if you guys want to check it out. Elon Musk did put this on his Twitter page. I just wanted to put it out there because he is the CEO of Tesla and things he tweets about could be huge. With that out of the way, I want to thank you all for listening. I see a little bit more upside for the market, maybe by a few dollars. I wouldn't recommend playing upside, or just be very careful of doing that. But then I see more downside. A little bit later, I see Tesla dropping in the later days of the week. This thing may end up testing that 630 range or even lower quite soon. So be prepared for that. With that out of the way, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. Please have a great rest of the day and never ever quit on your dreams. Tesla is not necessarily doing bad as a company. Elon Musk is obviously traveling to other countries like Brazil to possibly work on new projects, right? We're talking about maybe a new gigafactory that could be built there. That would be massive. The company's improving fundamentally. So if you just give it time, if you remain patient, it is going to come back, in my opinion. Once the market recovers, I do believe Tesla is going to recover with it. It just needs time. So just be patient. This is an opportunity. It's not necessarily bad. Stay strong. With that out of the way, thank you for listening. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.